Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for joining me today on my last show. Thank you first to Salam Media for accommodating the change of date. I normally do a Thursday, but I have to be in Durban this Thursday. So, shukar, they accommodated the Thursday. The Tuesday presenter swapped with me. We've got another very, very exciting show. I thought, it's the last show. We're going to have to go out with a bang. Um, I can't believe how quickly the time has passed. I want to thank Salam Media and I want to thank the viewers and the listeners for all the support. I've had some great feedback. Thank you so much for all of that. We've had some good comments and questions in between. So, if you want to get in touch with us, because we've got some interesting guests and I know you're going to want to question them a little bit, our studio line is 011 680 Our handle on X is at Salam Media. Use the show hashtag Mid Morning Talk, please. Okay, great. I also want to say it's been a great learning curve. I've done one or two radio shows before, but to actually be presenting, to actually get an idea of the topics, to decide on topics, then to do the research, to find suitable guests, it's all been wonderful. I want to thank my brother Ponti for the opportunity. I want to thank Puti, my producer, who's been great in getting everybody together, arranging all of the links and making sure my guests give me the information that I need in time and that they're all connected and up and running. So we're going to start. Today, our lineup will not disappoint, I promise you. We'll be kicking off with Sindi Zulu. She's a teacher in Soweto and a die-hard reading champion. And we'll be talking to her about literacy activism and about her mission to ignite young minds. I love that. Okay. Then we'll be speaking to our friend Shuhaida Adams from Islamic Care Line, moving on to my dear friend and partner in getting libraries into underdeveloped schools, underprivileged schools, Ntokozo Ndlovu from Siafunda Donator Book. Then we'll be crossing to Durban for my good friend and a very, very renowned psychiatrist, eminent psychiatrist, Dr. Shakir Salduka. And finally, we'll be talking to social anthropologist, consciousness and Reiki practitioner, Motsidisi Silindane. So we'll get started right away because we've got a full lineup. Because we had so many guests today, I actually had to ask for an extra half hour. So I need to get going. So welcome to the show. Sindi, are you there? Can you hear me? Welcome. Okay, so Sindi is connecting from her school. She's a teacher at Entandweni School. I've met her last year sometime when I took a trolley library together with our partner. We'd got some funds to get a trolley library to them, and Sindi is a teacher at that school. Unfortunately, the network there at that area in Soweto is not great. When we tested just now, it was fine, and it seems we've lost her. Maybe we're gonna try and get her on the telephone. So while we're trying to raise Sindi on the telephone, we're going to take a short ad break. We'll be back shortly. I think she's there though. Sindi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think we're going to go. We're going to say Bismillah and try. Welcome to the show, Sindi. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, great. I just going to I'll talk a little bit about you. Thank you for sending your bio. I just had to highlight a few things because we can't go through everything today, but amazing, amazing stuff and well done to you. So Sindi Zulu is a passionate literacy activist, curator and community leader committed to fostering a love for reading among young children. As the founder of Reading is Super Cool, a non-profit organization that promotes literacy for children between the ages of 3 and 12. She's dedicated her life to ensuring that every child has access to books, the beautiful language of storytelling, and engaging literacy experiences. We're going to ask her a little bit about that. She's driven by her belief that reading is a right and not a privilege. She's launched multiple reading clubs across her hometown of Soweto, creating safe and vibrant spaces where children can gather, explore books, and develop strong literacy skills. Through these clubs, she's introduced thousands of young readers to the joys of storytelling, making books a natural part of their lives. Cindy has also pioneered the Do It Yourself Libraries initiative, placing free community book stations in schools, daycare centers, and other public spaces. She's also been instrumental in organizing the Soweto International Book Fair, a key event that brings together authors, educators, and young readers to celebrate the power of storytelling and cultural heritage. Cindy, it's an absolute pleasure to have you today, and we're going to try and get through as many questions as possible, and hopefully the network is going to be behaving. Okay. So, Cindy,
Yes,
you call
hopefully.
yourself a die-hard reading champion. I want to know what sparked that. What was the moment that made you realize I need to bring books to my community in a big way?
It was a moment when I realized when my niece and her friends were struggling to read for comprehension, and
Mm-hmm.
I had the privilege to read for meaning when I was in school. And it was also motivated by my grandmother's Bible studies. So, my grandmother and my cousins used to have Bible studies every week, and
Mm-hmm.
that also enhanced our literacy skills. So it was quite easy for me to maneuver in my schoolwork, and I became an A student because I used to read as many books as I could. And I did not go to ECD, but I used to read children's encyclopedia at my grandmother's house. And when I got
Wow.
to grade one, I realized that I knew how to read because I was reading at home, and I found the learners there. They did not know how to read because they did not have storybooks at home. And I grew up, there was a library at home, and I realized that no child should grow up without owning a storybook.
Absolutely. That's very, very true. I mean, I think a lot of it is because of the situation, you know. Soweto, like many areas, faces literacy hurdles, many literacy hurdles. The most obvious one is the lack of books that you've mentioned. Most of the kids don't grow up with having access to books. Then there's busy
Yes,
parents, parents who unfortunately might not be educated themselves or who themselves can't read. So that's also a big
yes,
challenge, right? And then, of course, we've got things like screen distractions, modern day, you know, where kids rather be sitting on the phone or rather be sitting in front of the TV. But in all your years, what's been the biggest obstacle you faced in terms of trying to bring literacy and the love of reading, trying to nurture that love of reading amongst young people? And how did you, what was the biggest obstacles you faced, and how did you tackle these? How did you overcome them?
my, my biggest obstacle was the parents. So
Oh,
as soon as
really?
I
Thought
realized
you were
that
going to
many
say
children
access
love
to
reading
books.
and they love storybooks,
Mm-hmm.
um, I've never faced a challenge where I thought there were not enough books. I've realized that so many organizations
Good
across
to
South
hear.
Africa hand out books, but then the problem
Mm-hmm.
was they hand out books, then there's no one to guide the children through the books and through storytelling. And then my other biggest obstacle was the parents. The parents
Mm-hmm.
themselves are not literate, and they don't know how to teach their kids to read because they do not know how to read themselves. And remember, there's the stigma that black people don't read, or people in marginalized areas do not know how to read. So it was quite a challenge. But through my work with the Soto Book Cafe, we've been able to bring parents and children together by hosting events that would accommodate the parents, so they know that it is never too late to take a book and read. And what my friend Tamim Mazubugo of Soto Book Cafe always says is, if someone walks into the library and asks, what can I read? You ask that person, what is your interest? You start by reading something that you're interested in. And easily like that, everyone can become a reader because readers are leaders.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, for me, literacy and promoting reading is a very, very strong, very, very strong focus of mine as well. And I've been working with Siafunda Donato Book, who we'll talk to a little bit later, to try and get libraries into school. But we are also very particular about that. We don't want to bring a library and not make sure that there's a library program. So when the schools apply, we ask them what are they going to do? What is going to be their reading program? How are they going to make sure that kids are actually reading, getting access to the books, and you know they coming regularly to the library. So it's you know, I think it's a challenge. You know, we were talking about that stigma that black people don't read. I remember years and years ago reading, you know, a line somewhere, it might have been in a book or something, say, well, if you want to hide something, if you want to hide money from a black person, put it
Hide it
between the
in the
pages of a
book.
book. Yeah, So that's the kind of mentality that we have to work, try and work to get out of the system, because unfortunately that is the case. And I mean, and in my experience, I found also that even the people who can read often don't read. So you get the challenge of illiteracy, and then you get the challenge of illiteracy. Those are people who can read but choose not to, and that's another discussion for another day. I wanted to ask you though, Cindy, as a teacher, you've probably seen how reading transforms kids beyond just the academics, right? So we say it's important for kids to learn to read, and they learn to read from the until the age of until grade 4. They learn to read, and then from grade 4 onwards, they read to learn. So it's very, very important. It's your basis for all knowledge and for all learning. Okay, but can you share a story of a student, any particular pupil or learner in the past few years? Because I love those, I love those anecdotes, uh, who blossomed, because he or she started reading books or started having access to books. They blossom not just in grades, but in confidence as well. Can you share one story for us?
My niece actually won you. So I started the club when she was 10, I think. She was 10 back then. Her and her friends were around that age. And then I started the book club before I registered Reading Super Cool as a nonprofit organization. And you mentioned the confidence. I always tell the DIY activists that the first thing that is important in children learning how to read is the confidence to even say the words, to even say the sounds. So she
Mm,
has remarkably changed radically in her behavior as well, because now she's confident that she can be anything in life. She's confident that she can do anything and she can study anything, unlike before where she did not know how to read, and when she did not know how to read for comprehension, she didn't have any confidence towards anything in life. So she's just dramatically just changed, and she's a happy child now. She's in high school, she's in
wonderful.
grade 11, and she's even doing better now in her grades.
Oh, and I'm sure she's got big plans for the future. So, Cindy, the
Yes, she
next
wants to become
question
an
we
accountant.
Oh, wow. All the best to her. I wish her the best. Okay. I want to ask you, please, Cindy, what do you do? What do you do, or what is your school doing that children read in their mother tongue? And why is this important?
We are, a friend of mine once said to me that we are connected to our language, our mother tongue. And it has been a struggle actually to introduce mother tongue into the township schools, because now there's this thing that children must learn in English. So
Mm,
most of the children are actually struggling and actually scared. If we give them lessons or any activities in isiZulu, they are actually not confident in that. So it's actually been a challenge for us to try and introduce mother tongue, and mother tongue is really important since we are connected to our mother tongue. So we absolutely have a long way to go in introducing mother tongue in these schools, since now everyone is teaching and learning in English as a home language. So and it's been actually a struggle, and we've been actually trying to even reach out to the department and other stakeholders to come up with ideas so we can tackle the mother language issue.
mm. Well, I'm sure, like many other things, that's a huge challenge. On that note, we're going to take a short ad break, and when we're back, we'll chat more to our friend Cindy Zulu. Cool.
Is fortunate. This Ramadan, the Islamic Dawah movement will provide meals to thousands of Muslims from disadvantaged areas, as it has been doing for over 20 years, but they need your help. A donation of 30 Rand provides an iftar meal for a fasting person. Become an IDM sponsor and earn Sadaqah Jariyah. Zakat, Fitra, Kafara, and Fidya contributions are all welcome. Call IDM on 031 304 6883 or visit idmsa.org to donate. IDM, taking Islam to as many hearts and homes as possible.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists, with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Imagine a world where every child feels loved, secure, and cared for. At Beit Halima Saadia Orphanage, we are not just providing a roof over their heads, we're giving orphan children a chance for a brighter future. For just 1,500 rands a month or 18,000 rands a year, you can sponsor an orphan and transform their life. Your contribution covers essentials like food, clothing, tuition, therapy, and more, ensuring they grow in a nurturing, supportive environment. Any donation is accepted as well as daily scheduled donations. EFT directly into our account. Beit Halima Saadia Orphanage, First National Bank, account number 6313-1080-078, branch code 250737, section 18A registered. Take this step today. Contact Sister Nazarene at 083-653-5669 or email info@bhscycc.co.za.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +2733 346 2071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
Hey, Gulam.
Yeah?
Did I return your lawnmower last month?
No, bye, you didn't.
Oh, no. Now what'll I do? I wanted to borrow it again, man.
With Randry Jewelers, you won't have to borrow or lend because the prices are so well trimmed on all gold and diamond jewelry. Alternatively, we could remake your old jewelry into a brilliant new design. Visit Randry Jewelers at 151 Stevens Lamini Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randry Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
And we're back. You with me, your host Rashida Khan, for the mid-morning talk show. Just to remind you, you can WhatsApp us, WhatsApp your comments and your questions on 061 766 0355, or you can contact our studio line at 011 680 0355. And we're talking to our guest today, Sindi Zulu. Sindi, when we broke up, we were before the ad break, we were talking about the importance of mother tongue, making sure that as a language and reading in that is doesn't die out. One of the things I wanted to ask you, because you've been so inspirational in starting book clubs for so many years, for listeners who are inspired by you and what you do for and by your work, how can they start a book club or support literacy right where they are, even if it's just with a few books? How can they help? How can they get out there and make sure that as many people, not only kids, but I suppose your target is kids, but we know there are a lot of adults who either don't read or choose not to read or who can't read. What can a person do if they're wanting to start a book club in their area?
Actually, what we can do to get adults reading is starting book clubs, but starting book clubs as culture clubs. Make it a safe and fun space for adults to come together, gather, read books, and actually reflect on everything else and not make it only about books, because most adult people, even in the book clubs for adults that I start, most people are always reluctant to come because they think, oh, books.
Mm, I think we've lost you there. Any luck with the network? Are we?
Books is
So
incwadi,
we.
Cindy. So I always tell them that no, it is to your space and gathering around and discussing maybe politics, and then you can start choosing a book, and then a book club can grow from there on.
Yeah, we lost you a bit there, but if I gathered what you were trying to say is to get people around things that interest them, whether they're talking about politics or our favorite topic to beat the government down because they're not providing, they're not doing their services that they promised, or whatever it is that interests you. Maybe even something about getting, helping the children. How can they improve conditions for the children or conditions in their school? Whatever it is a point of interest for people to gather around, and then to have a book or two and to start sharing these and getting people to read that. And then the next time, have the discussion centered around that book. Okay, now, Cindy, I'm going to
Yes.
put you on the spot for a second. If you could put one book in every child's hand in Soweto, what would it be and why? One book. Are you there, Cindy? Can you
I
hear me?
love the book Ulanga by Siamasugu because both my
Uh-huh.
sons, yes, yes, I can hear you. I love the book Ulanga by Usiamasugu because both my boys loved it and the kids at the book club love it. It's a very great short book about a boy, and the message is listen to your parents. And I love the illustrations around the book because my son once said, "Mom, this person looks like so and so." So the illustrations are around the book. They're very specific because my children see themselves in the book, and the book is a Zulu book as well. So I would actually recommend Ulanga by Usia Masugu. It's a really great book.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm going to make sure I get a couple of copies of that. And the next time I go to any particular school, I'm going to take those books as well. Okay, Cindy, the most important
Yes.
part now, the last question we have. I know you've been working very hard to get your library up and going in the school. So I want to know, what are the challenges your school library is facing and what assistance do you need? Now's your chance to call out and ask people for whatever they can do to help you.
So
Maybe start with
currently
just
I
a
have.
very sorry, Cindy. Just start with a very brief introduction to your school, because I've been to the school that Cindy is at. It's one of the most amazing schools I've visited. Throughout my career, I've worked with schools a lot, and I've visited a lot of township schools, a lot of rural schools, and Itandweni is one of those that just stands out for me. And I've been to the school a couple of times, and it's not only like, they know I'm coming, so everything is looking good and everything is fine. Even if I just pitch up there just to come and drop off something or just to come and ask something, or I'm in the area and I pop in there, that school is beautiful. The kids are always well presented. The school is clean and neat, but they do need lots of assistance. Cindy, please tell us what your school library needs.
The school library at Zondi in Tandweni Primary School is a very great school around the area. Every parent wants their children to get into the school. So our library has 5 DIY activists. They help each grade. And currently we don't have any shelving, but Ntogozo from Siafunda promised us something. And then we need more storybooks in isiZulu, some dictionaries as well, some Zulu dictionaries, and then we need a carpet, maybe some nice couches would really be nice, and some curtains. And then essentially we have other 4 schools that we work around with in the area and would love to have more books donated, especially one of the schools has nothing at all. It only has like a classroom and there are no books, nothing at all. So I would need books and some shelving, and then obviously if anyone can chip in some money, we'd really love that, especially for the DIY activists to actually get something, maybe food, because they volunteer even extra hours to help the kids out with literacy in the schools.
Yes, thank you. I think it's very important, guys. You heard it from Cindy herself. Books, assistance with shelving, some furniture, some curtaining. It's so important to make the place comfortable and welcoming to the children. Cindy mentioned as well that she needed assistance for the DIY activists. So I've met these DIY activists, right? So they volunteers. They just come into the school, they run the library, and they also assist the kids not only with just selecting books, but helping them to read. And we'd love to be able to give them a stipend, even if it's just a little bit of something to help them with their transport and maybe a meal while they're on the premises. So they're there full time. They're just like the teachers. They're there full time and they're there
Yes,
every
they
day.
get full time.
So, and you say you've got 4 do-it-yourself, DIY activists, library
5
activists?
DIY activists
5
at
DIY. So
NW,
we,
yes.
if there's anyone who can sponsor something towards them for the rest of the year, that'll be awesome. On that note, Sindi, I wish you all the best. Keep doing it, my darling. Keep doing it. Keep bringing literacy and making reading sexy for every kid. Thank you so much for your time today. This was wonderful. Thank you so much, Sindi. Time for you to say goodbye before we go to an ad break.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Rashida. Thank you so much again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really amazing. May God bless you. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye now. And on that break, we'll take an ad break.